All right, it's 7 o'clock. All right, welcome everyone to the non-end of the world Sunday night market brief. It's kind of funny. Um, it's interesting how frequently this plays out, but we had all that news flow on Friday. The Trump tweet, which I don't even know why the market's pulled back. Like, it's obvious. It's obvious. Anyone that doesn't cave to the greatest country in the history of the world, you guys all know, history began on July 4th, 1776. Everything before that was a mistake. I mean, it was just such a. When the market yanked, I was actually live on Schwab TV. Actually, I'll post that link if you guys want to check it out. And and the hosts are like, "Oh, what do you think? What do you think?" I'm like, "Buy the freaking dip." I mean, like, buy the dip. It's like it's so easy when you see these irrational market reactions. Okay, now it is different. It's different if the market sells off for a real reason. Okay. I'm not saying you always buy the dip, but when you see something like that, that is so irrational, like it's just, but anyway, if you maybe a lot of you guys saw it, it was literally live when Trump tweeted, and I'm like, buy the freaking dip. It's a gift. Here we got futures bouncing. China will cave. They have no this is what drives me nuts with this rare earth idea. They've got no leverage with rare earths. I mean, like, rare earths are everywhere. Now, what China has is they have the majority of the processing and refining. But guess what? America could do it 10 times better. Like, if we wanted to. I mean, the only reason there's no rare earth mining, well, very, very little on U.S. soil, and there's almost no refining, is because of politicians and ridiculous, moronic environmental policies and regulations, etc. Like, that's the only reason. The only reason, like a lot of people think, and this is another story that kind of drives me nuts. People think that rare earths are only located in the worst places in the planet. Like, actually, and listen, if you think that, let me educate you. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We all learn. But people think they're like, somehow the rare earth minerals know to only go to, to only be, manifested, okay, inside war-torn countries filled with political strife and or communist countries. Like, are you serious? The rare earth minerals don't decide to be there. It's just when you have war-torn companies rampant with political strife and corruption, anyone can go in and rip anything out of the ground, right? Like, literally anybody. Okay. That's why they go to the Congo, or they go to, again, all of these war-torn, terrorist, encampment places, because there's no government there and there's no regulation. So the point is, if we didn't have these ridiculous, moronic, idiotic politicians and actually enacted America First policies, China would have no leverage in rare earths either. Okay. They only have leverage because we pushed all of the refining and production over there. So they know that. I mean, listen, it's not like the Chinese aren't smart enough to figure that out. So of course they're going to cave. So anyway, that being said, I was live at like 11:15, said buy the dip, futures gapping. A week from now, we'll probably be all the way back to where we were. Now, the other thing I want to comment is that, buy the dip situation on Bitcoin as well. And I do want to comment on this because this is important. I spent a lot of time on the weekend workshop talking about leverage, margin accounts, etc. To all of you that were on the weekend workshop, thank you for being there. It was a good one. I enjoyed it. Got tons of amazing comments. Sounds like people really learned a lot. I left it all out, man. I left it all on the field, baby. Was fighting the cold, fought through it, melted faces off, and then, pretty much fell asleep. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit about leverage because this is the most important point from, the Bitcoin pullback and the crypto kind of meltdown, as you would say. So understand, guys, that what created that move in Bitcoin, by the way, did you notice that BlackRock, again, I'm just a normal dude. Does it get any smarter, than BlackRock? Okay. Whoops. Lost connection to your camera. Let me try this. I don't know. The camera quit working. So what BlackRock did is simply capitalize on people being over leveraged. Like again, I talked about it on the weekend workshop. And why I beg all of you not to have a margin account. Now, understand, I'm assuming most of you are new traders. Okay. Now, obviously, maybe we have some, intermediate or maybe some advanced traders here. If you're here, welcome aboard. Drop me some questions. Love to get the advanced questions as well. But at the end of the day, it's a free live stream. We like to have fun, like to teach you a little bit, etc. We go over the news. Some great earnings plays, by the way. And how about SOPA on Monday morning? Did anybody take SOPA, by the way, the number one stock that we went over, the number one the speculative play? We spent a ton of time on that one. How about that Monday morning on SOPA? Oh! Jiminy Crickets! Anyway, that being said, back to margin and back to leverage. And this graphic is funny, but this was basically all of Twitter the last couple days. All of Twitter the last couple days. That Trump somehow destroyed crypto. Trump didn't do anything. What created that collapse in the crypto markets was idiots using leverage. Like you guys know, I'm very bullish Bitcoin. I don't trade fart coin. Okay. I don't trade I trade penny stocks. Like to me, I don't see any real need to trade fart coin when I can trade penny stocks. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. And at least with penny stocks, you're trading on real brokers, real exchanges, etc. But you guys know how bullish I am Bitcoin. Every dip I buy, okay, I'm holding it forever, But to blame him for what leverage did, and again, I know this is a little bit going back to the weekend workshop, but I mean, if you are trading any of these instruments with no leverage, Friday's just kind of a bad day, right? I mean, I'm talking specifically crypto, but this applies to stocks as well. Like if you look at a lot of these, it's just, you look at Bitcoin, you look at Ethereum, it's just kind of a bad day. But if you're trading with leverage, now you are ruined. Like, and listen, I would never make light of someone taking their own life. But I mean, there's a bunch of reports of these people that were over leveraged in cryptos that literally took their lives after Fridays. And that's a terrible thing. But if they were trading with cash, money that they had, okay, instead of trading with borrowed money, do you think that they would have taken their lives? Now, maybe they would have. I don't know. And it's a terrible thing. Listen, if you're ever considering taking your life, please seek help. You guys know I'm a big fan of the Sean Ryan podcast. You guys know I read every Navy SEAL book, every basically special operator book. Like these guys, I think one of the biggest tragedies in the entire country, like the entire country, is the way we treat the mental health of let me rephrase, the way we treat the health of the people that serve this country, okay, risk their life to serve this country, and then we treat their health, including their mental health, like a joke. We give more money to homeless people that have never done anything for their country. Like we'll throw money at people that have never accomplished or done a thing for anyone else in their life. They're terrible people, but we'll throw money at them. But the people that will risk their life and give their life, we'll sprinkle a few pennies here and there. But the point is, if you are ever considering suicide, I'm not making light of it, okay? Anyone that made that choice, please seek help. But the point is, we're talking trading here, okay? And the reason that is happening is because they were trading with leverage. And if that is why I beg all of you to just trade with a cash account. Now, I know you can't trade as big in positions. I know you sometimes have to wait for your cash to settle. You run out of settled cash and you can't make another trade. But margin is just so dangerous, not only to you, okay, but to your account. Because everyone thinks about what leverage can do to increase their gains, and they never think about the downside of that. So, and listen, flat out, guys, the other thing is, and we talk about this, very frequently. Remember, the PDT, the pattern day trader rule, which everyone hates, which I agree is one of the dumbest pieces of legislation of all time. It's moronic. As always, I have to quote the great Ronald Reagan. The 9 most dangerous words in the dictionary are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. But I think the way, like, as always, the intentions were good with the PDT. The intentions were good, but the implementation was terrible. Like, it's just the way they implemented it is moronic, okay? Like, they should allow you to exit trades and not get flagged for 90. It's just dumb the way they implemented it. But remember, the pattern day trader rule only applies to margin accounts. And as I just said, I don't want you guys using margin. It's just too dangerous. Everyone says, oh, I won't dip into it. I won't dip into it. And then they dip into it. And then a stock tanks on them and they lose 4 times more than they planned on losing, or they blow up their account. Okay. And again, nice thing about a cash account, no PDT. Okay. On that note, FYI, a lot of people think the market's closed tomorrow. Market is not closed tomorrow. Market is not closed tomorrow. Banks are closed. So because of that, funny thing, I just rant about you guys switching to cash accounts. Remember, it will take longer for your cash to settle because the banks are closed tomorrow. I go on this big rant about switching to a cash account and then bring that up. But markets are open, banks are closed, so you'll have some added time to your cash settling. Just be aware of that, okay? So when is the SEC going to lower the PDT to 2,500? Remember, that is just proposed right now. Now, I think I support it. I think there's no reason to have it at 25,000. Move it to 2,500. But FYI, that is just proposed. So there is no set date yet. I think it will happen, but I'll keep you posted, or follow the news. But it is just proposed at this point right now. So Mark, I heard 25. Mark, I could be wrong. It might be 2,000. But I'm not, Mark, don't quote me on that. I thought it was supposed to be 2,500, but that could be me just because it's currently 25,000. Maybe in my head, I was just moving the decimal place. So, but I could have, I don't recall. I'm sure you can probably Google it, just Google it or something. So someone's asking for the stocks for tomorrow. You should all have the watch list. I know I post this every single week, but I do the watch list for free every week. Sign up for it. Okay. We got GWH, which is the number one, which, by the way, GWH was beautiful on Friday. How many of you guys traded GWH on Friday? That was a beaut. It was my only trade of the day because I had such a busy day. But where is that alert? Actually, let me grab it. So yeah, GWH was the morning alert. Was also my only trade of the day because I was on Schwab TV. Then I was on the weekend workshop. But absolute box checker. They don't get much better as a box checker candidate than GWH. Let me do this. Whoops. Let me go back here to there. So what was nice about GWH, I talk about this idea of a box checker. Now, basically, when I say box checker, that's a stock that matches, all of the criteria we're looking for. So news. So if you recall, GWH had some great news 4:15 Thursday night. So 4:15 p.m. Thursday night, breaking news alerted it. So if you want to know where I got the news, breaking news built into StocksToTrade, number one news feed, 2 ex-hedge fund managers. They both worked on Wall Street for over 25 years apiece. Nobody's faster. They got every news. The beauty of breaking news, they subscribe to everything. Like they got a Bloomberg. They got every news feed. They're in every chat room. They're always first. They're always first with the news. So anyway, 4:15 Thursday night, news dropped. Low float stock, ridiculous volume. Like the pre-market volume on this thing, absolute ridiculous. Massive float rotation. The 60-day average volume was almost imperceptible. And it was trading I think it traded almost 100 million shares in pre or something. It was ridiculous in pre. Former runner. So right there, when I say box checker, it's exactly what GWH was. Low float, float rotation, ridiculous volume relative to the 60-day average, news, former runner, and really kind of a hot sector play as well. So then the way we approached it was to simply wait for the Oracle signal. Now, a lot of you guys have the Oracle algorithm, or maybe you've heard of it. So after the market opened, the Oracle algorithm calculated an entry price of $3.72. Then we used the lower support level, also calculated by the algorithm, for a stop loss, and then the upper major resistance level for a profit target. So this trade plan on your screen right now was all done by the algorithm. So I basically just type up what the algorithm said, send it out, then set a stop limit order at 372. It sat there all morning, middle of the day, GWH hits 372, order filled, and went to 5+. Now, I was out at the profit target. I was really busy, had a lot going on. The profit target was mid to high fours. I was out in that range, but the stock proceeded to go to 583. So just an absolute great example of using a box checker plus the Oracle algorithm, then simply being patient and waiting for the entry. That's all you got to do. Now, this is the other great thing. Let's say GWH never hit the order, never triggered the stop limit order. Whoop-de-doo. Who cares? Just another crappy penny stock. Like, that's where another thing that we talked about this weekend, went over a ton this weekend, but you like FOMO, like having to be in every trade, just like chasing everything that moves will get you in so much trouble. All you have to do is wait for the stock to follow through instead of being impulsive. That's all you have to do. Okay. Like trading something like GWH, it's really just a binary situation. Hits the entry price, you trade it. Doesn't hit the entry price, you don't. Like, you don't have to be in everything. Yeah, you don't have to be in every, like, I get it. So many new traders, they want to be in everything. Everything. Anything that's moving. Gimme, 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 gimme. Gimme, 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 gimme. It's the way real traders, the way professionals trade is, number one, they're very selective. And number two, they simply wait for the stock to behave the way they expect it to behave. And if it does not behave the way they expect it to behave, they just leave it be. Like, again, GWH all morning pretty much did nothing. Just chopped around, did nothing. Who cares? Who cares for like 2 hours what it was doing? The only time you care is when the stock follows your thesis. Now, understand that doesn't guarantee a win, but what I see so many people doing is just they have to be in everything, anything that's moving. They jump in without a plan. They panic buy, then they panic sell, and then the stock goes higher. Like, I saw people that were buying GWH at 4+, and then they because they panic bought, they didn't buy at the smart price of 372. They panic bought at 4+, and then they got stopped out, and then the stock explodes higher. Like, it's just, I don't understand why people simply can't write a plan and follow that plan. Like, it just, I think it's just so ingrained in the way I've been doing this for 20 years that at times it's just baffling to me that people would ever enter a trade without some sort of plan, a thesis, like what you're going to do with that stock. But every day I see it. And it's just, sometimes it's maddening. I mean, it's like you wonder why you struggle or you can't figure this out. It's because you're just like, the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. I mean, it's like, that's literally the definition of insanity. And so many of you put yourselves on this treadmill where every day is just a repeat of the last day. Like, you don't learn anything. You don't journal. You don't track trades. I see some trades or some questions about tracking and journaling. I'll touch on that. But if you're not reviewing your day, if you're not spending the 10 to 15 minutes to write 750 words to your trade journal, which I have done I didn't do it in the beginning. Okay, I've probably been doing this about 15 years now, the journal. I didn't do it in the beginning. And guess what? For 3 to 4 years, I lost money. Probably because I never learned anything, because I never reviewed what I did right, what I did wrong, and what I learned. And I didn't journal and I didn't track any data. Oh, big surprise. I lost money for 3 to 4 years. Can't believe it. So anyway, for 15 years, every day at 4:20 p.m., I sit down and write 750 words free form of what I did right, what I did wrong, what I learned, what my mindset was that day, what my preparation was. Did I follow my daily routine? What mistakes did I made, etc. And listen, guys, I don't care if you never read it again. Like, I literally don't care if you delete that document or never read it again. That might be one of the biggest things outside of studying chart patterns and price action. Okay. Price action, chart patterns, by far number one and number two. But that being said, if you're not doing this type of work, you're never going to get off that hamster wheel and you're never going to improve. Or it's going to take you so long to learn and get better that you'll probably give up. That's the other thing. Now, no one wants to do this work. It's not fun. It's not fun to write all this stuff about you didn't follow your morning routine. You rushed into trade. Like, it's not fun. But it's, in my opinion, it's the only way to fix it. At some point, you have to start fixing some of the holes in the boat. You can sit there and what most people do day in and day out is they're just bailing the boat out like every day. And I think the single best way to start patching some holes in the boat is to do exactly this. Because what will happen, you all have busy lives, you have a lot going on, so you'll just forget what happened the day before. You will forget what happened a couple days ago. You'll forget what happened a week ago. Like, sometimes people are like, Tim, how do you remember these? How do you remember this? How do you remember that? How do you remember that? One of the biggest reasons I can remember all of these tickers and all of these moves and when they happened and what price they went to and stuff is simply because I review it at the end of the day, which locks it into your brain. And now you are building that mental database. No one ever takes the time to build the mental database. They just think by staring at tickers all day long, it'll somehow sink into their brain. So that being said, guys, that got a little ranty, but there were a lot of questions about that. 750 words free form. Then you got to track your data as well. Okay. You got to, simple spreadsheets. Like, a lot of people overcomplicate tracking trades. Just start with a spreadsheet. It doesn't need to be that complicated. So the template for a trade tracking web spreadsheet is simply, obviously, the date, the ticker, the entry price, the exit price, the trade plan. Like, what was your plan? Where were you buying? Where were you going to sell? Then where did you actually buy and sell? And then the key component is every trade should have what's called a named setup. Okay. It's a named setup. You guys know I name all the setups. There's RCTs, there's dip and rips, there's VWAP holds, there's weak open ready greens. Okay. And one of the reasons, like, a lot of people ask, why do you have all these names for each individual chart pattern and setup? Well, the biggest reason is because of tracking my data for years I would always, name that setup that I traded or I was watching. Maybe it was a trade that didn't execute, but it was a setup that I was watching. So by naming, you could use different names, like name it the Rumpelstiltskin for all I care. But every pattern that you trade, every setup, setup and pattern are kind of interchangeable to a certain extent. Like when I say setup, it's more like what you're looking at with GWH here. The criteria that go into selecting that stock. Then the pattern is the actual chart pattern that you would be trading. So in the instance of GWH, this would be, a box checker type setup, but the pattern was a morning fader. So setup and pattern, and sorry to be a little confusing, they're somewhat interchangeable. But when I say setup, that's more the criteria that goes behind why this stock. Then every stock, if we're talking day trading here. This is different than, swing trading and investing. Every stock that you day trade has to have some sort of repeatable pattern applied to it. Otherwise, you're just trading noise at that point. Other than that, you're just trading noise. And yeah, Rich Bradford, you could say that. Like Rich, great point, Rich. Like in your trade tracking, your named setup could simply be Oracle Signal. Like that was the setup that you were trading. So yeah, totally agree. Okay. Yeah. Someone mentioned DJT and Trump Media. I'm going back to, or no, it's not at Mar-a-Lago. So the 22nd and the 23rd, it's in Palm Beach, but it's at the Breakers. So I think it's some fancy resort, but the 22nd and 23rd, I'm going to some Trump Media thing. And Don Jr. is going to be there. I think I'm supposed to be speaking. They haven't told me yet, but I can get ready the night before if I have to. But anyway, I figure I'll get to. I've never met Don Jr., but it's some event. It's a Trump Media thing, and he's speaking, and then as far as I know, I'm speaking, or I might just be hanging out with Don Jr. I don't know. So yeah, again, Marcus, Orbs, BRBs, etc. Yeah, yep. So all right, guys. How do you trade after 4 p.m.? RCTs pretty much. So we had a killer RCT Thursday night. Now I missed it because I was sitting in a tree stand. But what was it? It was YY. What was that Thursday night RCT? Oh, YDDL. Now I whiffed on this one. I was sitting in a tree stand, bow hunting. But I kept seeing it was a little slow bow hunting because I kept freaking sneezing. So a lot of you guys, I think I'm over the cold, but it was, every 15 minutes I freaking sneeze, so no buck is gonna come by. So anyway, I'm like checking Twitter, checking the Discord. I'm just kind of bored because I'm really not expecting to see a deer at this point. And I saw everyone, yelling about YDDL. And I'm like, so I screenshot this. Now, again, I didn't trade YDDL, completely missed it. By the time I saw it, it was at like $20 or something. But you guys see it, right? You guys see it right there, right? So YDDL, straight vertical move. Notice this is the mobile app, so it might be hard to see. But that the kind of peach colored area is after hours. So 4 p.m., straight vertical. Remember, the reason the RCT works so well is because no volatility halts in pre-market or after hours. Okay. So now, again, everyone asks this question. Do RCTs happen during the middle of the day? Occasionally. Not very often. The reason you don't see RCTs from 9:30 to 4 p.m. is because volatility halts stop the straight vertical move. Like the stock halts before it can make a move like YDDL. Now, in the instance of YDDL, you can see right at 4 p.m., straight vertical from $6 to 12, then put in the first red 5-minute candle, and then about an hour later, that black line that I drew on there, that black line is the top of the first red 5-minute candle after a parabolic move. And look at what happened an hour after, roughly an hour after YDDL put in an RCT. Look at that. Basically 11. I mean, it went to, how high did YDDL go? It went to like 20 something. I can't even remember, 25 or something. It was nuts. 29. 29. I was way off. So anyway, that being said, my friends, you can see that right here's the same RCT. Okay. Again, back to you guys that asked, how do you trade in after hours? My opinion is take advantage of the fact. Oh, let me bring that back up. Whoops. I closed it. Where'd it go? There it is. Nope, wrong one. I still love this one. There it is. So right there, the black line, okay? I'll leave it on screen a little longer. And all you had to do was wait an hour. That's all you had to do. Just wait an hour. Now I know, again, no one wants to wait. Oh, Tim, I can't just pile into a trade as soon as it starts moving. Hey, man, do it. You do you. You guys know how much I love the Constitution. It's a free country. Do what you want. If you want to chase parabolic moves in after hours, don't let me stop you. Hey, man, I'm not your dad. Okay? Do what you want. But I'm telling you, you chase the initial move, particularly in pre-market and after hours. And I mean, really all day, but particularly in pre-market and after hours, you chase the initial move. You're just going to buy the top and you're going to get bagged. 99 out of 100 times, you're going to get bagged. Now, what you could do with a stock like YDDL Thursday night is wait an hour and trade the RCT, and it went from 11 to 29. To me, that's what a professional would do. And again, I didn't trade YDDL. I didn't even see it till it was at $16. Okay. But the pattern is there. And if you want to know how to trade in after hours, want to know how to trade in pre-market, and yet again, if you want to, and we end this the same way every week. What's the number one stock tomorrow? Guess what? Tomorrow morning, between 7 and 9 a.m. Oh, I forgot a coffee shop. Tomorrow morning, between 7 and 9 a.m., there's going to be a low float, unusual volume, float rotating, former runner, most likely with news, that goes straight vertical, puts in a 5-minute red candle, and then breaks the top of that 5-minute red candle. And it will almost invariably Not guaranteed, but it will almost invariably be the best trade of the day. Now, I don't know what the ticker is. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what that ticker will be. By the way, GWH had an RCT on Friday. So in pre-market, killer RCT on GWH. Then it hit the Oracle signal. So there were multiple ways to trade GWH. It did an RCT at like 7:30 a.m. Or no, maybe a little earlier. But there you go. Now, again, I don't know the ticker. But I know the pattern will be there. So, all right, guys. I didn't even touch my agenda tonight. Market is not closed tomorrow. Banks are closed tomorrow. So anyway, guys, I didn't even get anywhere near the agenda. We'll call this a random episode, but I enjoyed it. Good questions. I like it. I like the ones that are Q&A heavy. I mean, to me, so for next week, guys, I'll have a agenda. Okay, I'll have an agenda, but bring questions. Like to me, the best part about being live is you guys determine the agenda. Like that's the beauty of it. Okay. Like, I mean, I post videos all week, shorts, longs, but take advantage of the fact that it's live. So bring questions. Like I prefer Q&A. It's fun. It's interactive. I mean, I'll bring an agenda next week, but take advantage of the fact that it's live. I mean, I'll stick around as long as there's questions. So, when will this end? When will these stops don't work in after hours or pre ever end? I plan on living to 125. I got 75 years left on this planet. And 74 years and 364 days from now, someone will say stops don't work in pre and after hours. Have you guys ever heard of your finger? Has anyone ever heard of this? You see this? This is called a mouse. Okay? This is called a mouse. And you have this thing called a finger that can click the sell button. Okay? You guys realize? Now, I don't want to get too technical here, but this is a mouse. It is a pointing device that attaches to your computer. And this is called a finger. And there is something called a sell button that you can sell anytime as long as the market's open. Okay? All right, my friends. Have a great day. And we will see you next time.